Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, when you use promo code DNVR, new customers can make any $5 NBA pregame moneyline bet this week and get $150 in free bets if your team wins. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Welcome in to the DNVR Rockies podcast. I'm Suzie Hunter. We have Cale Sorbo on a mic today. He has chosen to participate in the show because he has tomorrow off. He's going to miss the Suzie show. Not that every show this week hasn't been a Suzie show, but Fridays are different.
But Fridays are like our show.
They're our show. They're like our little happy hour. We like have a beer afterwards.
It's fun. It's a good little tradition we have.
I love it, but it's fine. We have a party tomorrow. We do. And you get to go skiing tomorrow.
I'm going skiing and I got a party tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a great day.
It is going to be a great day. I'm excited. Today's a great day too, though. Listen, I'm going to open the show by saying we are not going to talk about the 6'7" Yankee who wasted all of our time. And we're not going to talk about the Phillies at all either, because I read the comments and I'm going to try this thing where I just don't talk about the team that's doing the most this offseason. It's fine. I won't say anything. One person complained on Twitter that I talk about the Phillies too much on this Rockies podcast. So I thought about it. I thought long and hard about it. I was like, honestly, if I was on a Phillies podcast and the Phillies were doing nothing and the Rockies were doing more than anyone, I'd be talking about the Rockies too much and everyone would be really annoyed with me. I can't win.
Yeah, but Philly fans are get annoyed by stuff like that. You know, I feel like Rockies fans in general are kind of just like, well, we might as well talk about the rest of the league because it's not like the Rockies are going to do anything.
Well, one person complained, and now I'm complaining about them.
Well, shout out that one person, I guess.
Shout out that one person. It's fine. We're actually going to stick to Rockies news today, and there is big news. There is huge news. For me, it's huge news. Vanessa Hudgens is a Colorado Rocky. So on Wednesday, the Rockies signed former Pirate Cole Tucker to a minor league contract. They've been dating for a couple of years. Listen, I'm going to start this off by saying, baseball's my whole life. You guys all know this. It's most of my personality. But before anything, I'm a girl's girl. So this piece of news has brought together my two worlds in a way that has given me life today. Absolute life. We're going to walk through where Cole Tucker has been, though. Former shortstop for the Pirates, did not have a great season last year, but he was a first-round pick back in 2014. The last 4 seasons, he's been batting .211 in 150 games over those past 4 seasons. And then last season, he was batting .175 in 18 games with the Pirates. And then in AAA games, .209. So, he's been struggling the past couple of seasons. We'll see what happens there. But Cole Tucker, of course, does not want you to focus on his famous girlfriend. The couple started dating in 2020. In December of 2020, they went official right before spring training in 2021. So, of course, that's what reporters hounded him on. And he was just like, listen, he said, I don't want it to be treated any differently than my teammates having their wife down or having their girlfriends down. She's great. She'll be around. You'll see her. But, it is what it is. He knows it's going to be a headline. Cale, do you know how they met?
I don't.
They met in a Zoom meditation group.
A Zoom meditation group?
So in 2020, they were in a Zoom meditation group that Joe Jonas put together.
This is too many. My worlds are crashing together. This is wild. This
is crazy to me. They were in the same Zoom meditation that was put together by Joe Jonas. So she saw him and she was just like, who is this guy? So she slid into his DMs and was like, hey, it was so nice to meet you.
She slid into his DMs,
yes!
Not the other way around?
Yes!
Whoa. I
know. When I say this is giving me life, this has woken me up in a way that I have not felt alive in a long time.
Love that for you.
Thank you. So yeah, we'll see how things go. He'll, I believe he'll get a major league spring training invite. I want to see Vanessa Hudgens out there. I want to see her in Rockies gear. She looks cute in purple. She looks cute in anything. Get out of here. But I love this for us. Other Rockies news. Bill Schmidt was on MLB Network on Wednesday. I'm calling him Bamboo Bill now. If this Vanessa Hudgens thing didn't happen, the thumbnail of the podcast would be Bamboo Bill. Bill Schmidt was on MLB Network on Wednesday and said, We're not where we need to be, but I use the bamboo theory. There's a lot of stuff growing underneath that people don't see, and it's going to pop here. When it does, we're going to be good. So, really the big question is, how do the Rockies bridge that gap between where we are now and the future? Because the near future has guys like Zach Veen, number 23 overall prospect, Rockies' number 1 prospect.
Yo, wait, real quick. A quote from Schmidt said, Bill Schmidt this morning was like, nobody is untradeable. And if the Rockies trade Zach Veen before I see him in purple, I will burn down Coors Field.
But I also do like the sentiment of finally saying no one is untradeable, because I feel like we've just been holding on to dudes for just a little too long. I always say the Rockies have hoarder energy.
The Rockies do have hoarder energy, and nothing is more than wow, all the offers they had for Brendan Rodgers a couple years ago, and they probably should have moved him when they were in a contention window, but they're not in a contention window right now, and Zach Veen is by far the best prospect they've had in over a decade.
Yeah.
So why would you trade him?
That would just be the Rockies' way.
It would make me really sad.
They're like, how can we ruin Kale Sorbo's day? Let's trade Zach Veen. What can we do to ruin his week? Yeah. So Zach Veen, of course, hopefully big part of that future. Hopefully. Brenton Doyle could debut this year too. We've got new guys like Nolan Jones who came over. So yeah, Rockies still need left-handed hitting, right-handed pitching relief, more starting pitching. These are the big issues we need to take care of. The Rule 5 draft was also last night. So the Rockies selected Kevin Kelly from the Gardens, traded him to the Rays for cash considerations. Then the minor league phase, the Rockies selected Eli Lingos from the Guardians and righty Nick Kuzia from the Tigers. But the Rockies lost Isaac Collins to the Brewers and infielder Mateo Gil. He was part of the forever horrendous Nolan Arenado trade. So these are the headlines. These are the things that have happened here at the end of winter meetings.
How does the Nolan trade keep getting worse? It somehow is just haunting us still, and it's so bad.
This is why I asked on Twitter, does anyone do sports exorcisms? Because I feel like something about that trade has placed a curse on the Rockies, and it's this big dark cloud that won't go away. And I actually truly believe we need some kind of exorcism. We need a priest to come in and get the devil out of here. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I agree.
But what's a lot, but in a good way? Being a diehard at DNVR.
Great transition.
Thank you. I've been spending a lot of time with Patrick, so I'm just trying to match his energy. His transitions are on point. But I guess now that I've just been doing them all week, I've got a thing going now. But listen up, fam. The DNVR Bar has watch parties pretty much every day of the week down at the corner of Colfax and York. Make sure you check the events page at thednvr.com. And if you're not a diehard already, you are missing out on price breaks on Broncos tailgates. We got one this Sunday, and I'm excited. We've already told you that I'm going to do a sexy pizza luge. It's going to be disgusting. Kale's not going to look. Are you going to watch me do a pizza luge?
Probably not.
You won't look? You'll turn away?
I'll probably turn away. Actually, no. It'll be like watching a train crash. I'll be morbidly curious and watching.
Just like that.
It'll be just like watching a train crash.
Just one of the activities you are missing out on if you don't go to Broncos tailgates. But listen, yeah, you get price breaks on those. Price breaks on the Nuggets party buses. That annual membership comes with a free t-shirt from DNVRlocker.com. Every freaking year. You get a new shirt every year. What's better than that? You're going to get extra raffle tickets at all of the watch parties to get even more free gear and access to our diehards only Discord. There is a community for every corner of the sports world. If you are not a diehard yet, don't fret. It's only 50 cents for your first month at thednvr.com. And you know who we love at DNVR? We love FOCO. FOCO is back, and they are the leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise with a product line that includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, novelty items. They got those bobbleheads. We love the bobbleheads. And they have the 2022 Stanley Cup Championship gear from the Avalanche, the Jokic back-to-back MVP bobbleheads, and our very own Rockies City Connect bobbleheads too. So yeah, FOCO always has our back for Colorado sports, and they have yours too. Get the best gear around by using the link in our description. And for all non-presale items, use code DNVR for 10% off.
Look at this lovely FOCO item that Suzie is wearing on the screen.
Yes. Okay. This is why I got to watch this on YouTube. So FOCO has these amazing sweatshirt blankets. I don't know how else to describe them, but they are just like blankets that you wear. And they're so soft. They're so warm. I wore this Rockies one to a Broncos tailgate the other day. As you can see, if you're watching us on YouTube, RK is wearing a Broncos one. They have a couple of different Broncos ones, but they are perfect for this time of year. They are so soft. They are actually so warm. I might wear this again to the tailgate on Sunday. Haven't decided. But you know what I'm definitely doing on Sunday? Drinking a Breck brew. Breckenridge Brewery has collabed with Never Summer Snowboards to release their newest beer, the Funslinger Lager. I love the Funslinger Lager. It's light, it's crushable, it's the perfect balance between not too hoppy and not too malty. So get after a day on the slopes or here at the DNVR Bar. We got buckets of it. It's so good. Never Summer Snowboarding is based right here in Colorado too, so you can't go wrong with a beer or the boards. Those boards are beautiful. They are gorgeous. I love them. But the Funslinger beer was born out of two Colorado companies with a legacy of quality and craftsmanship. So check out the beer locator at breckbrew.com to find a Funslinger near you. And we got to point out the Christmas ale too, because 'tis the season. That chill of winter calls for a beer with extra flavor and strength, with an abundance of carefully roasted malts that create notes of caramel and chocolate, while Chinook and Mount Hood hops contribute to a spicy quality for balance and a clean finish. That's the Christmas ale. So Breck Brew also has the Nice List. It's a huge holiday giveaway that you absolutely have to check out. The link is in the show description. And as always, Breck is made with 100% renewable energy. You love to see it. You know what else we love to see? We love to see fresh winter meetings content. Patrick Lyons and the All City Gang have been out there grinding, talking to people on the ground floor of everything that is happening. And even though things have not really been eventful for the Rockies, especially compared to other teams, there's still lots of action out there. Kayla, are we ready to roll? What am I saying? That clip. Let's roll the clip.
All City Network back here at the winter meetings here in San Diego. My name is Jesse Friedman from PHNX, along with Patrick Lyons from DNVR, as well as Ryan Herrera from CHGO. Patrick, Bill Schmidt apparently alluding to some possible interest here in some of the bigger names, potentially Carlos Rodon, Noah Syndergaard, Chris Bassett. There's still some big names out there to be had on the free agent market as far as pitchers are concerned. I know that there haven't necessarily been a ton of reports connecting the Rockies in particular to those names just yet. But sometimes, especially at the winter meetings, you're kind of trying to read deeply into everything, right? This is where we scrutinize every word that comes out of the mouths of every GM in baseball, right? And sometimes you can learn a lot from what GMs say.
Yeah, Rockies haven't really been linked to anybody here at the winter meetings. In fact, if anything, they discussed having an interest in Brandon Nimmo, only to then take that off the table. So a little bit frustrating for fans. But as you said, asking Bill Schmidt questions, and the Rockies in general, they do like to keep things a little bit closer to the vest so they can kind of feel things out. And basic question was just asked about maybe looking for a Chad Kuhl type of player. They picked him up last year on a one-year deal for $3 million. It worked out really well for the first 3 months of the season. Through that complete game.
He threw a complete game.
Complete game, 3-hit shutout against the Dodgers. No single man had ever done that before. And then, we won't talk about the second half, but nevertheless, and he might even be a player that could come back. I think there might be some interest. But bottom line is, he was asked, are you looking for a number 4 type? Hey, we're looking for all kinds of pitchers. That definitely leaves it open. Carlos Rodon, maybe.
Before you get any further, would we call Chad Kuhl second half cooling off?
We would.
Is that what we call that? Okay, just
We
making
would.
sure.
Oh my gosh.
I like the puns. Cooling off. Okay,
And
sorry.
we hope 40-man player warming Bernabel, does exact opposite when he gets to AA. But again, that leaves the door open. It does make you think something could happen. But you guys have obviously been following Major League Baseball for a while and have seen what the Colorado Rockies have done in the past. And I would want to levy a question to you. If you could name any free agent pitchers that have ever got any notable pitchers that have ever gone to Colorado, and your silence speaks volumes.
That have
Not very many, huh?
You mean pitchers that have willingly gone to pitch at Coors Field when they could be pitching elsewhere? I'm going to say none.
Yeah.
There you go.
I guess guys have signed extensions, right? They've gotten some of their pitchers to sign extensions, which honestly, in some ways, is surprising, right? It's like, why would you stick with that team if you know that maybe you could go somewhere else and put up better numbers and do better for yourself in free agency? But yeah, I got nothing. Ubaldo Jimenez, he was a homegrown guy, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't count. So, other than him, I don't really have a whole lot of great Rockies pitchers in my head from the last decade or two. And it makes sense, right? That ballpark just isn't really going to attract that sort of thing. So, for guys in particular who are chasing shorter term contracts, maybe trying to reestablish value or whatnot, Noah Syndergaard maybe could be one of those guys. It's going to be hard for them to maybe justify going to Colorado where maybe their numbers won't look as good as they would somewhere else.
Yeah, with Carlos Rodon, his market is still going to get hot. He's now, the biggest name that you could go out there and say, hey, we now have an ace. So I don't think he's going to cool. And that's something that the Rockies are really kind of counting on right now. They did discuss, Bill Schmidt did, about the free agent market for a left-handed hitting outfielder being a little bit higher maybe than they would prefer. But at some point, those valuations will come down as the offseason wanes on and there's less and less spots. There's fewer seats at the table, if you will. But Thor is Noah Syndergaard, one of those guys where he's going to have to take a shorter-term deal. So he may have to go, all right, 2-3 years, possibly to Colorado, or even a Chris Bassett, who's an interesting type where a lot of people feel like he is maybe more of a number 2 guy, but he's also a little bit older, and he's only going to get so many bites of the apple. And if Colorado goes out with an aggressive offer, that could be something that moves the needle for both club and player.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse, what do you got?
Is it your sense, Patrick, that is it your sense that in general with the Colorado Rockies, there's like a certain dollar figure where if they exceed that, they can get players to come there regardless of the fact that they're pitching in Coors Field? Or do you think there are a lot of free agents out there who are just I don't care if you give me the sun, moon, and stars, I'm not going to pitch in that ballpark no matter what? I don't know if you have maybe a sense for what that looks like.
That's a great question. That's sort of the algorithm that goes into maybe even being in a conversation with one of those bigger name players is how do you mingle in there, right? What's the number? What's the formula?
Yeah.
And you
it's
obviously
not just money all the time.
No,
a lot of times it is hey, sell me on your organization. Sell me on what you're doing here. And the Rockies, unfortunately, are not in a position to make the best of cases right now, at least when it comes to pitchers where the ballpark isn't going to do them any favors,
and
right?
It may be where we're seeing some of the free agents, Aaron Judge, Trey Turner, leaving some money on the table to go to a place they want to be versus whoever's just going to throw the most money at them, right? So it may not be that the Rockies could get a high enough number to entice those kind of pitchers to go to Coors because they just don't want to pitch there, or they're more comfortable somewhere else, right? That may be the case. So. Of course, money does talk. So if they just blow someone out of the water, it may happen. But at that point, would it still be a free will? I don't know if I'd still consider it going there on your own free will.
You're getting danger pay there. Right? You need to add at least one more year on top of what the next biggest offer is, and then increase that average annual value, by a certain percentage point, right? If we're talking about some of these higher end guys, it would be a lot more. Then at that point, again, you're talking about a starting pitcher making very substantial money.
Yeah.
And you're doing it at Coors Field where it's already so difficult. Just with the track record, with everything with Mike Hampton in the year 2000, along with Denny Nagel, Darryl Kyle a little bit before that. It's just one of those formulas that just doesn't work really for the Rockies, and they got to get creative. That's where the trade market, I think, comes in and makes a little bit more sense. I think Noah Syndergaard could be one of those guys, but really it's all about the other 29 teams. As you said, just a better location where you're going to feel comfortable. And if you're signing a 2-3 year deal, you're going to go back out on the market one more time. that's where a guy like Chris Bassett could be the interesting one. 33 years old. Again, you probably may have to give him a 4 or 5 year deal, and he's going to know that, either I got to be really good in my age 37, 38 season, or this might be my final bite at the apple. This is going to be my one chance. It does mean threading the needle, quite closely there. It just might not work. That's where the trade market, I think, makes a little bit more sense in this way.
Do you think draft pick compensation would be an issue with a guy like Chris Bassett? Like the Rockies being in the position that they're in, like going out and getting a free agent and choosing that over draft picks right now might not be in the cards for them, I imagine.
Yeah, great point. That's one of the things to note about Carlos Rodon as well as Chris Bassett.
Yeah,
is both
Carlos
of those guys,
Rodon, it's probably easier to stomach, right? I mean, Carlos Rodon is like, it's like, okay, he's Carlos Rodon. Like,
Sure.
You'll put up with losing a draft pick. But Chris Bassett he's good, but he's maybe a little bit more on the edge where something like that would factor in.
Yeah, both those guys were offered the qualifying offer. So if you sign them for the Rockies, they would lose their second round pick. And that's something that they pride themselves on as a draft and development organization. So to do that would kind of go against the grain a little bit. But they have done this before. It's not completely without precedent. In the 2016 offseason, they went ahead and decided they were ready to contend. And they were absolutely right, because they did go to the postseason 2017 and 2018. But they signed Ian Desmond to a 5-year, $70 million deal.
Yeah.
They at that time for the CBA, you lost your first round pick if it was outside of the top 10. Rockies had the 11th overall pick.
Oh, wow.
They lost it. They're the only team to lose a pick that high for signing a qualified offer. They didn't pick till somewhere in the 40s there in the supplemental round. Got Ryan Vilade, no longer with the organization this offseason, designated for assignment. Now with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pandemic hits. Ian Desmond decides to leave and says, just keep my paycheck. My tenure in Colorado is only 3 years. Also cost the Rockies a first round pick as well.
There you go.
Seems like some of the free agent moves they've made as far as position players have not panned out super well for the organization. Ian Desmond was not necessarily. It was bizarre to me that he wound up playing first base, like for as much as he did. I remember thinking of him as more of an athletic, like, oh, this guy could play center field or whatever. That didn't necessarily happen during his time in Colorado.
I'd also say some of the trades they've made for position player or giving away position players more specifically.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
they may also not have worked out.
You're not allowed to say Nolan Arenado. We are.
You are. Okay.
I am. I'm very much allowed to do that.
I will say Cubs fans are not happy with the Rockies for trading him to the Cardinals for a bag of peanuts. I will say that.
Well, the Cardinals also got $50 million in exchange for those peanuts. Interesting we bring that up because, of course, today in the Rule 5 draft on Wednesday, the Rockies actually lost Mateo Hill, son of Benji Gill. He came over in the Nolan Arenado deal, so he was selected in the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft. So one less piece from that Nolan Arenado deal has gone away. Again, to your point, it's the trade. That's the way to go. That's what we'll be talking about on tomorrow's show. This idea that the trade route is the way to go, especially when free agents might be a little bit hesitant on the pitching side.
Yes.
So truth be told, Carlos Rodon, Noah Syndergaard, Chris Bassett, if you're a Rockies fan, maybe tap the brakes on the excitement just a little bit.
Syndergaard, maybe.
Okay.
A hard maybe, folks.
All right.
Hard maybe.
You heard it here first from Patrick Lyons. Noah Syndergaard, a hard maybe to the Colorado Rockies. Thank you for joining us here, everyone. We've got another 24 hours-ish of winter meetings events here in San Diego, so be sure to keep it locked right here to DNVR right here on YouTube.
A solid maybe is a great way to just describe the Rockies in general at this time. We've got Patrick on the line. We're going to get to him in just a second. I'm going to leave him hanging to talk to y'all about Pins and Aces. It's the official golf apparel partner of DNVR. We love our Pins and Aces gear. And listen, I know the golf guys get tons of compliments on and off the course. They are a family-owned golf and apparel business based right here in Colorado. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and an incredible beer sleeve. Such an innovative product. This honestly deserves a Nobel Prize. You can store 7 beers inside of your golf bag and keep your drinks cold the entire round. So check out pinsandaces.com and use code DNVR for 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com with promo code DNVR. And listen, we got to talk about DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. It's our go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. I mean, Why not? So right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. So check this out. Everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, total points, and more. So the more legs you add, the bigger the boost, the bigger your shot to win big. And you can also jump over to that soccer season business, because it's still going on, even though the U.S. is out of it. So listen, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code DNVR, place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game, and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Listen, you know how much we love going to games. Game Time is the way to go to get all of the best deals. It is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, shows, concerts. So if you've ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought you could, like the 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate, is this how I'm going to get my Taylor Swift tickets? I think it's going to be possible with Game Time. Listen, the biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you never thought you could buy. So wait off a little bit to buy your Rockies tickets, because you can save up to 60% when you wait closer to first pitch with Game Time. The bottom line, if you love DNVR, you're going to love Game Time. It's the best way to get your tickets, and the best way to support us is by buying those tickets through the link in the description of this podcast. Join more than 15 people join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score the best seats to all of your favorite events, and hit the link in our description to save big. All right, we got to check in with Patrick at Winter Meetings. He is just wrapping up a very busy week. Patrick, how are you doing? How are you feeling about what the Rockies did?
What did they do, Suzie? That's a loaded question right there. No, yeah, there's an adrenaline dump happening right now as we prepare to get back home. But yeah, a whole lot of nothing. As Bill Schmidt kind of discussed on MLB Network, a bamboo theory of things going on beneath the surface. Article just went up today at the DNVR.com, kind of discussing the possibilities of Michael Conforto being that left-handed hitting outfield bat, one that might not necessarily fit for center field, but this idea that if the free agent market is maybe a little bit too rich for them for what they need at the moment, they can sit back and wait to make one of those moves. It's going to be a cold winter until those moves finally go down. But they could enter the trade market. They could get involved. Brian Reynolds, another article on the DNVR.com, and we talked about that with one of our shorts over on DNVR Sports Channel on YouTube about if that player is a match to provide an upgrade. But they would have to make a trade of some sorts. And they've laid the groundwork, or the potential groundwork. Blueprints are probably written up all the time. And there's never any construction. There's never any building. The golden shovel is not put into the dirt one bit. So despite the fact that the Rockies may have some blueprints and have some ideas about acquiring talent to improve their roster, it remains to be seen if that will actually happen.
Wow. I want to talk about the Rule 5 draft. A lot of moves happened during this. Did the Rockies win or did they lose? How do we feel about what we saw happen?
They did exactly what they typically do, which is not really participate at all. They did select a pitcher, which was exciting, and then we were told, hold on, which generally means they made a selection for another team, and then they trade that player to the other team for a prospect. I mean, the Mark Cannon deal obviously worked out great for the A's, picking up a really talented player from out of the Marlins system. Rockies in return got Austin House, who was a nice relief pitcher, topped out at AAA. Never made his debut, but was seen as a pretty good deal at the time, much better than an actual Rule 5 pick. This time, they traded Kevin Kelly, a right-handed pitcher from the Guardians organization, to Tampa Bay for cash, not Kevin Cash, cold hard cash.
Real cash, not Monopoly money. Where do the Rockies go from here? I know, Bill Schmidt talked about the bamboo theory. I don't know about bamboo theory. Is this a thing? Am I just like completely oblivious to a term?
Look, people live their lives in different ways and they justify things however they have to and glorify it, throwing lipstick on a certain type of farm animal, whatever it is.
Oh my God.
Make it look good. I will say this, that in the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft, Rockies did lose 2 players. Infielder Isaac Collins, who was somewhat of a fan favorite, went to Creighton University. Good little infielder there with some pop. And the other player was actually Mateo Hill, a guy that, as you just saw, was a part of that Nolan Arenado deal. What they ended up picking up was a lefty reliever, a righty reliever there that could possibly be nice depth pieces for the Albuquerque Isotopes. Does that make an impact on the big league roster? Probably not, but you never know who you get contributions from. So they did have those acquisitions in addition to the big Chad Smith, Jeff Criswell deal. No real trades at all. We've been discussing that all week long.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a single trade that went down here, which is kind of strange. I know Aaron Judge didn't finally sign until late. Xander Bogaerts now off the board. So this could be one that really takes a lot longer. We didn't have an off season last year like typical because of the lockout. So I'm wondering if some of the GMs are still going through the rhythms and the motions as if this is the first time it ever happening in the industry. So it could take a little bit longer. It just remains to be seen if anything will happen.
Patrick, will anything happen with Vanessa Hudgens' boyfriend, Cole Tucker? How do you feel about this move?
Great minor league pickup. Again, you do have to fill up the AAA roster. Was a guy who was the 24th overall pick out of Mountain Point High School in the Phoenix area there. His brother Carson Tucker, 23rd overall pick, actually just beat him out ever so slightly a couple years ago in 2020. So it's a baseball family, has 4 years of big league experience. He's still young enough where you could hope that maybe you catch something there, a big league contributor. Certainly far from a true first round pick that you select out of high school and you hope, they turn into like a Trevor Story type or even just a really solid contributing member. That ship has kind of sailed a little bit, but he certainly can be one of the better contributors on the big league roster if things end up going really well. On Monday, you and I will have to sit down and come up with a list, maybe just the top 5, but a list of the top 5 most famous Rockies wives and girlfriends of players all time, because I've already started the list.
Of course you have.
Top 5 already.
I mean, she's, to me, she's got to be number 1 for me. What are the chances that we see Cole Tucker and his beautiful girlfriend Vanessa Hudgens at Coors Field this season?
Ooh, first you got to get Cole Tucker there. He's the first and foremost. I would tend to think there could be about a 35% chance that we see something like that. We've got an article coming up here in the next couple of days about Ezequiel Tovar, and does he deserve to immediately be the opening day starter? Obviously, we project him to be a guy that's going to be a consecutive and consistent opening day starter for the Rockies there going forward. But this year in particular, what is it like if he has an April kind of like Brendan Rodgers? What do you do in an instant like that? So you want to maybe provide a little bit of a cushioning to support him there. Possibly, do you go to an Alan Trejo? And then after that, what does your depth look like? So you got to get Cole Tucker there first, and then we'll see if we get Vanessa Hudgens. We only got Russell Wilson. We didn't see him really past opening day. That was the prediction. Do we see him? I think maybe it was at 1.5. We did see him for the Peyton Manning thing, and then that was it. And we didn't see Sierra. So don't totally get your hopes up. Although it would be typical that would be a way potentially for the Rockies to sell season tickets is bringing a player who has a famous girlfriend. Listen,
Vanessa Hudgens she was going to minor league games when he got sent down. So she is supportive. She will be wherever he is. And I know that.
So you're saying Vanessa Hudgens, keep your eye out in the Albuquerque area.
Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens is going to be an Isotopes WAG, and I love this for the whole organization. Patrick, I know you are packing up to fly back to Colorado. Anything else we need to talk about? Anything noteworthy that has happened that we didn't mention?
Well, again, a lot of allusions to different things going on beneath the surface, as we've discussed in today's article. I asked Bill Schmidt point blank, well, if you're thinking about trading some of your prospect capital, would that extend to a Zach Veen, Tovar, Drew Romo? And his response was quite interesting. Again, you can get that one. That's unlocked. You can get that over at the DNVR.com. Might even be surprising what his response was, since they're trying to build for the future, and yet are interested in trading some prospect capital. So I thought that was interesting to see. We're gonna have to just wait. It's a matter of a waiting game. Hopefully, we are not sitting here at the start of spring training or even opening day talking about how every team in Major League Baseball made a move or a trade except the Rockies. We already did that once in the summer.
Exactly. We've already lived through that. I don't want to go through that embarrassment again. But I'm going to look for a sports exorcist, and we're going to figure this out. Patrick, thank you so much. We're excited to see you back in Colorado. We will talk on Monday. Safe travels.
Thank you so much, Susie.
Thanks. All right. Good updates from Patrick. Some other baseball news, some NL West news. Xander Bogaerts is apparently heading to San Diego. Sources have told MLB.com. The longtime Red Sox shortstop is apparently agreeing to an 11-year deal, $280 million. Woo! So no opt-outs, full no trade clause. Red Sox fans are not happy to lose him. Definitely someone that they wanted to hold on to. But how are they going to replace Xander Bogaerts? They also, we know, they have the option of moving Trevor Story back to shortstop. He moved to second base just for the Red Sox because that shortstop market last season was so crowded. So we'll see what happens with Trevor Story. Maybe he'll go back to his first love, playing shortstop. We'll see. We've got another show tomorrow. It's still a Suzie show. It'll be at 5:00, the normal time. And I believe Kevin Collins, who is a wonderful part of the communication staff for the Colorado Rockies, will join the show. It will be full of surprises. It'll be full of laughs. This has been a really busy week, so we're going to let loose. It's going to be a good time. And Kale's going to have the day off. It's going to be incredible for him.
Going skiing.
He's going skiing. I love this. So we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Kale, where can we follow your stuff on social media?
At Kale Sorbo with 2 L's, or on Instagram, Blue Eyes with a Backpack.
Easy to remember. You can follow along with all of the latest Rockies news at DNVR_Rockies on Twitter. You can follow me at the Suzie Hunter on all platforms. And you know what they say about closing a show?
What do they say?
They say, I don't know how to do it, so we're just going to say goodbye, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow at 5:00.